Hello everyone and welcome to the game of the day of this Grand Prix in Riga between Vachier Topalov as white and as black my friend and countryman Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, French number 1 of course. And this is the second round of this Grand Prix. Maxime won the first match against David Navarre by winning a very quick game as white, very convincingly, and as black he drew quite easily. While Vachier Topalov beat Nakamura in the first match, which was quite a surprise, I would say, because he won in tiebreak, and Nakamura is of course an expert of such. So this is a very interesting matchup between two very aggressive players. But let's see how it went. So Topalov was white in that game. So he started with e4. Okay, sometimes he does d4, but e4 is his main move. Of course, Maxime, as always, plays the Najdorfs, which Topalov used to be an expert on this opening, but recently he's playing mainly one e5 and Berlin, as most of the top players do, except Maxime, of course. Knight f3, d6, d4, cd, knight d4, knight f6, knight c3, a6, so this is just the Najdorf. So now f3, so this is English attack, while not allowing this bishop e3, knight g4, which Maxime is playing on a very regular basis. He had many games in that line, so f3 is a sign that you don't want to have a theoretical discussion in this bishop e3, knight g4 line. f3, and here's the first small surprise. Maxime plays e6. In general, he is doing e5, and he had a game against the world champion in Bill last year, which went knight b3, bishop e6, bishop e3, h5. And of course, this h5 is designed to stop g4. Of course, this is an acceptable line for black. Very interesting, very sharp, as this Najdorf with f3 is always of course one of the sharpest opening you can have in chess. So bishop e3, b5, queen d2, knight b7. This is of course well known, g4, and now b4. So many moves here, knight d1, knight a4, but Topalov is playing knight c2. Now Maxime played h6, which is very logical, trying to slow down the attack on the king side. As you can see, I have to play now to get g5 in. I have to play h4, and not only that, because if you go h4 and then g5, I could just take, and this is pinned, so you cannot take with the pawn because the rook is pinned. So most of the time you have to play rook g1 first, which considerably slow down a white's attack. So h6, and here the main move is long castle, and of course there is a lot of theory here. So I don't know if it was some over-the-board improvisation from Topalov or some real prep, but he played this knight f4, which was only played in one game as far as my database is concerned. So here of course the most obvious move is just to make the fork, to play e5. So I guess the idea of Topalov was to play knight e6, takes, queen a5, only move. And now two options for white. The first one is to take on f8, knight takes, queen d6, king f7. So black wants to develop so bishop e6 and knight g6. And so I think white has to be fast and play bishop b6, queen a4, b3, queen e8. The idea is that after bishop a5 or long castle, I will just take back this pawn before. It's like bishop e6 or knight g6, and I will just take this pawn before, and it's very unclear because white has 3 pawns against the piece. But I think black is doing quite well actually, because bishop e6 will come, then queen c6 maybe, then rook c8. I mean, many options for both sides, but I believe in the minor piece here. So instead of that, instead of taking on f8 and you have the option not to be that greedy and to just go bishop c4 and to keep this knight on e6, which is very annoying for black. But black has a strong response here. Bishop b7, long castle, and rook c8. Attacking the bishop, bishop b3. Now the very strong move, queen b5. Well, the idea is to play a5, a4. And you are a bit slow with your counterplay. If you go h4, you just go a5, threatening a4 already, and it's not clear what you should advise to white here. So I think after bishop b5 it's not over, of course. White has to play g5, then black will just take, threatening some bishop f7 and queen d6 and knight e6, a lot of threat here. But I think black has a very, very strong move, very powerful, rook c4. Stopping this bishop to go here, to go on f7, and creating a room for the king. You see the king on queen side will be just very safe, actually. So if white if you take here, just I think it's poor, because you have two pieces for the rook and excellent play. d5 might come, this king is safe. I don't see any problems here for black. So queen d3, rook c6, queen d2 trying to repeat, but the rook is on c6 now, not on c8, and it's much better placed. Look, this pawn is protected. The king can run to b8 even, or a8. So it's a5, bishop f7, now I just go king d8, as mentioned previously, and I think black is doing extremely well here. So basically I think the real test here is knight take f8, and I don't know, probably we'll see more games here from white side. I'm not convinced here for white though. So knight f4, of course, for Maxim it's a bit unpleasant because knight f4 probably came as a surprise, and of course it's difficult to play e5 and to go, you don't know, yeah, basically if your opponent is still in prep or not. Even if he thought for some minutes, it's always a bit tricky. So he played bishop b7, which is of course very obvious. Take on c8, queen c8 protecting, threatening d5, so you have to come back, queen d2, and now e5. Now it's time to collect because you are pawn down with black, so you don't have much choice. Knight f5 now, of course knight e6 wouldn't be as strong because simply the queen is not attacked, the bishop is out, just knight e6, I would just take, and for instance I can even go king f7, and you have to give up this knight. So e5, knight f5, takes on f4, bishop f4. You have a piece down as white, but look, you have two pawns and some very strong pieces on f5 and on f4. Long castle is coming, so it's kind of very tricky position for both sides, incredibly complicated, and it's hard to say who is better. I would take black, but I wouldn't be very comfortable as black, to be honest. Of course, Maxim loves this kind of games where it's very unbalanced, but I guess Topalov was also welcoming that. Of course, Topalov is one of the most aggressive players in the chess scene. So let's see, knight e5, very logical. Attacking this pawn, you have to play bishop e2, queen c7, long castle. This king is rather safe here. To b8, of course, missing one or two pawns, it would be even safer, but still, it's a good place for the king. The only problem in black's position is this bishop on f8, which remains a bit inactive, and you still have to develop. King b1, g6, taking care of this knight to develop this bishop here, knight e3, bishop e7. And now c4, which makes a lot of sense. You just want to go knight d5. I didn't see, I started to check here. If you start to, let's say, if you want to remove this knight from e5, you play queen d4, king b8, and knight c4. Now black takes, bishop c4, and now they have a very strong move, knight d7. Going back to e5, you cannot really take here because rook f8, and these bishops, there's a problem here. You probably lose one of them. So c4, king b8. And now I guess Topalov was considering to play knight d5, but it's a bit too early. Knight takes d5, c takes d5. You want rook c1, your bishop e3, great attack, but bishop g5 is a very strong move. Takes, takes, you lose one more pawn, you have 3 pawns for the piece, but now black has a very strong move, rook h3. Threatening to take on f3, and threatening to play rook dh8, attacking h2 and counter-attacking. If rook c1, just queen b6, keeping an eye on that rook. I think it's very safe for black and just much better for black. So king b8. So Topalov wanted to prepare this knight d5 with rook c1, but black has a nice shot here, which gives a better game. Knight takes e4, very strong move by Maxim. Takes, takes, king a1 on the move, take on h1, rook h1, and of course it's a bit scary because now black is a full exchange up, but this light square bishop disappeared, and now this king looks very unsafe. But Maxim is not afraid of such. He's of course playing Najdorfs since his childhood, and is used to have such kings. It doesn't really matter, and he judges the position well. I don't think black can be worse here. So bishop g5, very logical to exchange one piece. Of course, you are material up, so you are material up as black, so you want to exchange some pieces. Knight d5 takes on f4, takes, queen a7. This knight is very good, of course. This queen is a bit weird, but rook e8 will come. So I think, of course, it's still incredibly sharp because this king is very weak, and soon the bishop will come in this long diagonal. But still, I would prefer black here. Rook h8, a3. Very slow move, but preparing, some escape for the king. Knight c6, bishop f3. Now look at this bishop, beautiful bishop, g5, queen g3. Putting all his, making sure most of his pawns are on dark square, and this queen on f4 was a nice square, so it makes a lot of sense. Queen c5, centralizing the queen. It's very logical play. Bishop h1, just one, queen f3, rook e2, and here I cannot really call the next move of Topalov a mistake, because objectively speaking I think it's still a draw, but it creates some troubles for white. And he could have forced a draw here actually as white. The right move I think was knight b4, which was basically a straightforward draw. After knight takes b4, queen f3, threatening mate in one, and threatening the rook. Of course you cannot go rook e7, because just check, king c7, queen b7 mate. So after queen f3 the only move is knight c2 check, takes here, and now check, intermezzo, king a2, and rook d7 protecting the mate here. Check, king c7. Of course, if I give a check, you will just run, but I keep you in the box and play bishop d5. And I think this position is just, even if black is exchange up, I think this is basically a draw, because black king cannot escape from perpetual check. Let's say after queen g1, threatening rook a1, and this king would feel a bit uncomfortable, on b3. Then c5 would just force the draw immediately. Takes on c5, queen c6, king d8, queen f6, and there is plenty of checks for white. Black king cannot escape. So he played knight c3 instead of knight b4, which was forcing a draw, as we saw. Knight c3, rook e3, queen g2. Of course, this battery looks nice. I have no clue actually if Topalov was still playing for a win. Maybe he was. It's not completely impossible. Knight d5, attacking this rook and threatening knight b4. Rook b3, nice geometrics by Maxim, and rook b7. And now it's very difficult for white to improve their position, because look at the pieces. All the pieces are perfectly placed. So Topalov decides to play some useful move like b3, but now black plays calmly a5, and it's a very nice position where it's kind of unclear what white exactly once, and black as well actually, because it's always tricky to move this knight because this battery will be very strong, but white has to play a move here, and it's not that easy. So he played knight c3, and now very strong move queen e3, attacking this rook. And here I think maybe it's not yet the decisive mistake, but it's quite a mistake, I think. I think Topalov had to play queen b2. It's a very weird move, but I'm still pinning this knight. Okay, more or less, because black has a nice trick here, knight e5. Of course, bishop b7 is not good because of knight e3, followed by taking on c1, sorry, and it's basically game over. But after knight e5, queen g2 is a very nice move. And here, okay, computer is showing a very slight hedge for black, but I'm not sure there is something really better than knight c6, and after queen b2 it would be one of the most funny repetition I've ever seen. So that could have been a possible end to the game. But Topalov played rook c2 here, but queen d3 now is very strong, forcing the queen exchange. Because if you go rook c1, I will just go a4. Of course, you cannot take with the knight because of queen b3 check. And if pawn takes, we just take here. So after queen d3, queen d2 is basically forced. Takes. And okay, look at the endgame. Now black is a full exchange up, but this pawn is really weak on d6. This square is very nice for the knight, and this bishop is still making a good job, making the knight c6 pinned. So there is some play. Of course, Maxim decides to be active. Rook e7. This is a rule when you are exchange up. You have to play for open files. Whatever happens, you have to activate, even sometimes at the price of a couple of pawns. And Topalov here made a decisive mistake, move 41, which is very not always the case, but very often the case at move 41 you just relax because you just passed the time control. And in my practice, at least, there is much more mistakes on move 41 than in move 40. So in your own game, just take your time after the time control, because move 41 is very tricky. And here, okay, took on d6, but he had to play bishop e4. And after it, black has to be very precise if he wants to keep some chances to win. a4 is a good move. b4, of course, this is not possible because this is hanging. b4, knight a5, check. It looks very scary. Of course, king c7 is not possible because of knight d5. King a7, knight b5. It looks very bad for black, but king on a6 actually is quite safe. Knight takes d6, rook d8. Of course, c5 is not possible here because of rook takes d6, c takes d6, rook takes c4, and it's winning for black. Rook d8, rook d2, and now threatening c5. And now rook e5 is a very important move. And look, there is now 2 pawns for the exchange for white. But these pawns are really weak on queen side. This king as well is far from the action. So I think there is good winning chances for black here. But still, it was a much better option than what Topalov did in the game. He took on d6, and now the very strong rook d8, exchanging one pair of rook, and now this rook will be basically the king in the of the board. Yeah, just no one will match her. Of course, it's not possible to take here because check, king a1, rook e1, and it's basically game over. So rook d8, knight, rook takes d8, knight takes d8, bishop e4, and now some very strong sequence by Maxim. What I was telling you is just trying to open up the game. H5, takes on h5, now f5, very strong move, bishop f5, rook f7, bishop g6, rook f2, king b1, rook h2, and now look at the position. He managed to create a pass pawn on g5. Of course, he sacrificed a pawn, so now white has 2 pawns for the exchange, but look at the king. King is very far. He's cut, simply. This pawn is very strong. This G pawn is really strong, and this H pawn is stopped by the rook. So, and the knight will come into the game with a decisive effect. So this is just completely lost actually. So Topalov played knight e4, g4, king c1, knight c6, followed by knight e5 on knight d4, king d1, knight d4. Here it was possible to play b4, but after knight e2, followed by g3, g2, g1, it's just completely over. So Topalov, of course, tried to bring the king to stop this g pawn, but it's anyway completely lost. Now Maxim just takes the pawn, king f1, knight d4. Of course there is no king g1 because of knight f3, so knight g3, king c7. I just want to go king d6, king c5 as well, bishop e4, knight f3, stopping the king to come on g1, because this pawn then, if the rook has to move from the h file, this pawn could become a real danger. So c5, trying to stop the king, but just check. Very professional from Maxim, and rook h3, attacking this knight, king g2 and knight e4, the simplest. Here Topalov resigned, because after knight take e4, rook h5, then rook h3, we will just collect this a pawn and push that one. Look at this a pawn. The king is way too far. Now he went all the way from b1 to g2, but now he will have to come back and it will be just too late. This king is very fast. This is just game over. So very good start from the Frenchman in this Grand Prix series. He is in a very good situation to win this mini match against Topalov. He just needs a draw as white against Veselin. So yeah, of course that's to start with a win in a 2 games match as black. To start with a win as black in a 2 games match is of course you cannot expect something better than that. So I expect Topalov to go all in tomorrow, some Sicilian, something sharp, and he will try his chance. So thanks for watching, and see you soon on Chess24. Bye.